Are we on?
All right. We like to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
Double honors to our apostles, our bishops, and honors to the elders and the Akim that's pushing this truth out week in and week out, the way they were taught, the right way. All right. Yeah. So we at the end of Esau's rulership, man. His confederacy that he got, his house divided. Also, they going to war with each other economically, you know, because you just mentioned what Putin is doing with the energy with the other Asian countries.
Right, because the EU is trying to put a ban on Russian oil imports. You know, they're being provided, I believe, around 40% of their oil is coming from Russia. Now it's now down to like 20-something%. So what Vladimir Putin says is like, look, I think at this point we just might as well go to these Asian countries that need it right now, because the situation with the Strait of Hormuz over there in Iran causes gas prices to get jacked up. Even now, when you go to the pump here in America, oil prices are going up. So why would Vladimir Putin continue to sell cheap oil to the EU when he could just go over there to Asia that need it right now and sell it at a higher premium? You know, which is going to hurt those EU countries. Why? Because they're going to have to go to different sources and pay more. So the people over there in the EU, they're going to feel it as well. When gas goes up, everything goes up. When the price of gas goes up, everything goes up. Why? Because the truckers, exactly. The truckers they're gonna charge more to pick up stuff. The farmers now have to charge more, but everything just goes up when the price of gas goes up.
Yep. So everything's gonna be affected, even sanitation on a lower degree. Everything. Got it.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry.
The nations are angry. And mainly the nations are angry with the so-called white man, Esau. And the so-called white man controls Babylon the Great, which is America. So in them Khazars over there in the land of Israel. All right? Because they instigate a lot of things, man. The nations are angry with the usual suspects. Got it?
It says, and thy wrath is come.
And thy wrath is come. Who? Esau's wrath come. And ultimately all these nations. But the main target is Esau, bro.
And the time of the dead.
These nations are dead because they're dead to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. They wasn't given wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They're dead, but they're waking back up to that warlike state.
That they should be judged.
What's the judgment? Thermal nuclear destruction, concentrated fire from the Lord and the angels.
And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets,
the servants, the elect,
and to the saints, and them that fear thy name.
And the elect is the ones that fear the name of the Lord by doing the Lord's will and promoting the name. The name, what is the name? Yahweh and Yahushua. Those are the names. We're not ashamed of bringing those names out.
Real quick. Ezekiel 30 and verse 2, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord God, how ye, woe worth the day, for the day is near.
Yeah, we're prophesying, woe, destruction to the day. That day is near, the day of the Lord. You don't, YouTube world, man, y'all don't see what's going on? Yo, we almost at the end of this thing, you know? This rulership, this age of rule.
It says, for the day is near, even the day of the Lord is near.
The day of the Lord is near. The day of the Lord is near. We're on the lookout.
Cloudy day.
Because there's not going to be any knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And the Lord is going to blot out the sun with those chariots and the mushroom clouds that look like scrolls that's folded. That's going to blot out the sun. And also, it's not going to be any knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. People are going to want the truth because of famine of the word, right?
It should be the time of the heathen.
Time of the heathen. All right, the heathen going to be judged. 2/3 of the nation of Israel going to be judged. We know the nation of Israel is so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? And ultimately, Esau, he's going to receive his judgment. The remnant of them are going into slavery. and the portion of the remnant of them is the elites, the 13 families. They changed their names and shit like that, but the 13 families is still behind the scenes. You know? All right.
Yeah, that was.
So yeah, you know, it's gonna be the trade war. Prices skyrocketing because of hyperinflation. All of these things that's gonna take place. Energy crisis.
Yeah. Back in Revelations 11 and 18, it says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets."
The reward, that penny, that reward to the servants, the prophets. All right.
It says, "And to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth."
The them that destroy the earth is a so-called white man, Esau, because they didn't have to use all this energy and things like that and drilling and things. They didn't have to do all of that. They didn't have to pollute the air and the water. Tesla had a program with free energy. All of those that brung out free energy, something happened to them.
I could also add this too, brother. Oil is cheap. The Rockefellers are the one. This whole $3 a barrel. You go to the $4 a barrel. That's all bullshit. Oil is cheap over there in Venezuela. Oil is a few cents, but they'd be like, well, it's because they make less money, whatever. But you're still charging them a few cents for gas.
Put a high inflated price on things.
Right.
Right?
They you know what they used to say? They used to say oil come from fossil fuels. So there's limited supply of fossils. So but it turns out that's all bullshit. The earth produces oil abundantly. I mean, it's a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? So this whole notion of, you know, you go to the pump and you're paying so much for gas, it's all price manipulation.
Yeah.
That's just this devil.
Like diamonds.
Like diamonds. Beautiful point. Like diamonds. Diamonds. First of all, diamonds can be artificially created.
Yep.
You know, it wasn't until again the Rockefellers and these different families, you got to get on one knee and tie it to marriage. You know what I'm saying? And you know, women are retarded, so you could tell them a piece of rock is $500,000, and they're it's $500. Ooh, light. You know, just believe it with no real. Well, is it scarce? No. All right.
Yep.
Revelation 6 and 4, just to back up your point that this devil is this devil. It says, "And there went out another horse that was red."
That red horse, that's Esau. And red meaning red crime and go back to crimson. And also the horse is symbolic to power. Right?
It says, "And power was given to him that sat thereon."
And power was given to him. Isaac gave Esau the blessing of sword, and Isaac is Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
"To take peace from the earth."
And they took peace from the earth, starting with Alexander the Great or the Greek. All right, and then went down to his 4 main generals, because his other generals were the 4 man. All right.
"And that they should kill one another."
And they've been killing one another since the Greeks came into power, then the Romans, then they lost the power, then they came back. And when I say Romans, I'm talking about the 12 main emperors. The 12, the 12.
"And there were given unto him, and there was given unto him a great sword."
A great sword was his weapons. You know, that one right now is a nuclear, atomic on down, but he has many weapons. He has economic weapons. He has biological weapons. But his whole weaponry system, that was given to him. The weaponry, that technology and understanding of weapons, that was his blessing, because he's carnal. And he's a damn murderer. I mean, he's a person that take lives. Go ahead. He's a murderer. Yeah. That's
Verse
it.
5.
Oh.
I mean, that was it.
All right, that was the point. All right, so Esau has taken peace from the earth.
It goes to something else.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you can bring it out. Yeah.
Verse 5. Salaki, you had something?
No, you got it.
All right. Verse 5. "And when he had opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd beast."
Now, understanding the seals, Yahweh Shai was the one that loosed the seals to give us the understanding. Go ahead.
Say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse.
Black horse represents death. All right.
And he sat on him, had a pair of balances in his hand.
All right, and that balances judgment and also famine. Go ahead.
Right. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny.
A penny was a Roman centurion's wage, a day wage. So a centurion's, Roman soldier, that was their pay for a day's wage. So this is going into inflation, go ahead.
And 3 measures of barley for a penny.
So things are going to be so expensive to where the goods or your food or whatever is going to be hyperinflated. You might need a wheelbarrow of money to buy basic necessities.
And see, thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
This is truth. This wisdom that is not, we able to bring out the Lord's word.
What's that penny? The penny in
Denarius or whatever?
Yeah. Which is what? Is it 10 candles, something like that?
10 asses.
10 asses, right? So
Equivalent to 10.
yeah, equivalent to 10 asses. So here it is, you got something that costs, that could afford so much, and now it's been brought so low, you know, it's basically nothing.
Now that pretty much that demand is going to get you a loaf of bread or so.
Yeah.
Now, that's what they did with the denarius. It was silver. What they would do, they would like, what they started shaving. You know, shaving or say inflation, to where they would take the silver and start mixing it with other metals, and it'll become more. You know, it won't be 100% silver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Devaluate, right? The water. It loses benefits.
Yeah.
It loses worth. It's the same thing going on today with the dollar.
Yeah.
You know, the American dollar is losing its worth. You know, this is that spiritual wrong.
You know, and that's one of their weapons too, because the untrained eye, we've been given knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but the untrained eye is attacked by the untrained eye is attacked. The untrained eye, they don't see that they're attacked by a weapon. An economic way, they don't know they're attacked by a weapon. You know what I mean, Salak brothers? They don't know, the untrained eye, they don't know how to cry out for help and understand that they being attacked by economic weapon. You got it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, look, that scripture right there, you know, a day's wages for a loaf of bread, you could say it now. How do I mean? You could take, what's bread? $3.50?
Yeah, about 4.
About almost $4, right?
About
All right, now
4.
time travel back to 1910 and say a price of bread for $4. When back then 5 cents could take you to the movies, get you a hot dog, all this type of shit. It'd be like a price of bread for $3.50. That's insane.
That's probably like almost damn near like paying mortgage back there, something like that. Just,
You know, they'd have been like, what, $3.50 for a price of bread? You fucking crazy? That'll never happen. But that's what we're living in. So it's the same thing. It's like, as this currency keeps devaluing, you know, like to us, it'd be absurd to say, yo, it's $100 for a bread right now. But in the distant future, that could be possible. Well, whether we're not here to the distant future, but I'm just trying to give an example, you know what I'm saying? That this currency was to keep going, that wouldn't be something absurd to say.
it's kind of just like back when we was all in like elementary, and for $1 we can get 4 bag of chips, 2 chips, or like 2 little canned juice. Now it's like 1 bag of little chip costs like a whole $1, and not even half the bag is full up. It's like a quarter of the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrinkflation, where you
That's
like
right.
the box stays the same, but you open the box and there's less in it.
Yeah.
Eerie.
Yeah. So you see, things are hyperinflated right now. Yeah, you brothers won't believe it, but it was a time where you had $20, you take a chick to the movies, you got money for the trade, something to even go get y'all both something to eat.
Of
With
course.
$20, I'm not lying.
Yeah, $20 is the
I am not lying.
Like when New
Yo.
York City was popping, hop on the bus, go
I'm
there.
not lying, but I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not lying, man. I remember in the 90s.
Well, it used to be 25 cents to take the train or something like that.
See? So,
Yo, it's not good. Things are really getting bad now. Like you mentioned earlier with the oil prices, it's gonna get way worse. Once that oil go up, that's energy. Like you said, once the oil go up, everything is going up. It's gonna get real bad, okay? It's gonna get real bad out here, man. All this laughing, playing, and celebrating, That's really done.
I was gonna say too, Salak, fuck. If it happens in the summertime, that's when it's a lot of power outages.
Yeah.
So even when the oil prices ain't crazy, Con Ed, it's an area that's always getting shut down. So the oil prices go up, more energy being wasted, burned, and people just gonna lose their damn mind. Like when it's hot outside, people can't think straight.
Yeah.
And then that's when a lot of crime happens.
Yes.
A lot of shooting happens when it's nice outside.
Yes. And you got it.
Okay. The second Ezra 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown.
That's right. So the places where things break that down.
Yeah, I got you.
With things you got it.
Yeah. All right, so I'm reading it. Second Ezra 6 and 22. It says, and suddenly the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses
Oh yeah.
shall suddenly be empty.
Yeah, so where you got production taking place, where you got areas where you could thrive and survive, the storehouses are gonna be shut. They're gonna create an artificial famine. All right? It ain't gonna be no food in the stores. The stores gonna be closed. All right? So all the people that's winning right now, all you dudes that's getting money, don't be paying $50,000 a Yesha Diaz, man, a month, because you gonna need that. You know what I mean? You know? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
All right.
It says verse 24. And it says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies.
Yeah, because it's gonna be survival of the fittest, and it's just gonna be on survival mode, man. You know, cliques are gonna form, then those cliques are gonna turn on each other, because it's gonna narrow down to this is the only thing that's left. You know?
It says, and the earth shall stand. It says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fear going on, man. There's gonna be a lot of fear because people are gonna be put to death for basic necessities, man. It's gonna get crazy out here. People are gonna be put to death to survive. You know, a lighter gonna be valuable. A lighter is gonna be like a damn bar of gold, man. A lighter, just to heat something up or burn something. These are the things that's gonna be a necessity for, man. Your rubbing alcohol, your regular alcohol, your Band-Aids, the things that disinfectant, make a suture, stitches and things, man.
Medical supplies.
Medical supplies. Saline water to clean infections. You got it.
And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein.
Mm-hmm.
The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a famine. It ain't gonna be no water. It's not gonna be any substance out here.
Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation.
So the ones that's the name of the Lord doing the work, Lord willing you to elect. All right, the Lord is a refuge, or like it's fortified. All right, the angels are encamped around the men of the Lord. That means and when you preaching, when you doing the right thing on your day to day, the angels are camped and protecting you. Mm-hmm. All right, the angels are protecting you down to the littlest thing. You don't lose your wallet. You don't lose your keys. All the angels are protecting on all those aspects. You know what I mean?
So whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world.
That's right. The end of this age of rulership. So the Lord is going to protect his men. And if we have to be martyrs, the Lord going to have to give you that spirit of courage to die for this thing. You know? So you're still protected either way.
Ecclesiasticus 11:25. In the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction.
Yep, when you prospering, you don't forget the old times. You don't forget when you didn't forget where Your heater might, if you live in areas where it gets so cold to it fucks up the heat or whatever, the heat company gotta come in. You got coats on. You don't. When you prosper, you forget that. You know what I mean? You forget when you have to eat peanut butter and jelly or whatever. You know, you forget where you're coming from. But then when you start suffering, you forget when you had that great job or those resources. You know, you was up.
It says, and in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity.
There's no remembrance. It's gonna be dark out here. No knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Everybody's prospering out there. You was a 1% earner, a high level male, or whatever. That shit gonna be out the window.
It says, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways.
Yeah, so it's nothing for the Lord to protect you and reward you in those times where everyone's suffering out here. You know what I mean? You remember the movie World War Z? Everybody running all scared. You had that Jake just chilling. I think he even had some. I think he had some whiskey or whatever. He just watching the show, just calm, peace, not fearful. You know.
It says the affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure.
Affliction for an hour gonna make a person forget pleasure.
And in his end, his deeds shall be discord.
Yeah. So the end, whether you are righteous or not, it's gonna show. All right. So like that time of affliction, you know, that time of affliction, it seems like a lifetime. All right, someone's drowning. At that moment that they're drowning, that sting of death seems like a long time.
Even like when you lifting weights, you hit the PR, and like you recorded, you felt like you had that weight on you for like forever. You know what I mean? And you watch the video, it's like, damn, that was quick. So I got some.
Yeah.
Hosea chapter 5 verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So we went in these captivities and these hardships. The Lord turned his back on us. We have forgot the name of the Lord. We forgot who we were. But the Lord brought us back into our memory. All right? The Most High sent Yahweh for us. All right?
And seek my face.
The elect is seeking the Lord right now. The elect is calling upon Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah.
In the affliction, they will seek me early.
And that's what happened, especially in hardcore slavery. When we was in hardcore slavery, we were seeking for the Lord, man. Even when we got out of them shackles, they was hanging us on trees and shit, man. These nations had their way with us, man. But that happened because we pissed Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai off, man. And we had to be straightened out. Another one.
Proverbs 1:27. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer.
See, even those that don't know the name of the Lord, those that wasn't pushing the name of the Lord, they're gonna do a 180 and call upon the Lord, man. The Lord ain't gonna hear them. Then you're gonna have people that was scoffing that don't know the name of the Lord, just calling God, please help. You got idiots out there calling upon Jesus Christ.
A lot of these niggas, when they go to prison, what do? Convert to some sort of religion.
Prayed
You know
up.
what I'm saying? Because their back is against the wall. Now they want to seek a higher power.
Yeah.
Not when they was robbing, killing, murdering, adultering. That didn't cost their money. But when that judge says 35 to life, they just drop to their knees and look to the sky.
Oh,
and
Lord.
do something. You know what I'm saying?
When they put your ass under the jail like an 80X, because it's Colorado, the Supermax. And it's another one I forgot similar like that here in America. Motherfuckers don't want to go there.
Look, man.
They don't want to go there.
You go in a cell with a nigga twice his size with all types of tattoos, you gonna start praying. I'm gonna fuck. How big of an atheist you think you are, man? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Big Sandy. That's what I'm talking about. That wild nigga was a gladiator. They on some gladiator Roman Coliseum shit up in there, man. The stabbers. Look up Big Sandy. They call it Big Sandy.
You know, it's like this. It's like, well, you ever watch the movie The Mummy, the first one?
Okay.
And the mummy came out, and you got this nigga. They had like 8 different religions
Oh,
around his neck.
yeah.
He was like, because he was like, what type of demon is this shit? He was like, for all he had a cross, kissing the cross, and Mother of Mary, and then he started speaking in Hebrew, and he said, whoa, you know the language of the slaves? You know what I'm saying?
See?
So this is real quick. It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
You ain't gonna find the Lord, man. That window of opportunity gonna be shut. The doors of mercy is now, and it's like an hourglass, or like an eclipse light when that light is dimming. Like, yo, you know, it's gonna be too late.
What?
Yeah. Proverbs 10 and 24. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted.
Yep, the desire of the righteous is gonna be granted, man. We being fortified by Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Lord willing, we the elect, all right? You know. So the world they're gonna know that this is of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They're gonna know it's of the Most High. They gonna know. It's gonna be no shred of doubt that, yo, you know. But then after that, after the nuclear destruction in certain parts of the world, the Lord gonna have his men take their heads off, because the motherfuckers still gonna be set in their ways. They still gonna be doing their dumb shit, and the Lord gonna have to straighten them out.
It says, Proverbs 1 and 29 now. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord.
They hated Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They hated the scriptures, man. They hated this thing of ours, man. They was down with what you see out here. Deception and their pleasure.
Right? They would none of my counsel.
They didn't want to hear none of the Lord's counsel. And the men of the Lord are bringing out the Lord's counsel, starting with the apostles, starting with the bishops, the elders, on down the ranks. They don't want to get with the program.
Says they despised all my reproof.
They despised it. I don't want to hear that. I remember you wasn't with that. You know what I mean? I remember you wasn't with that. You know? Yeah. So what? When I was younger, my favorite colors was black and yellow. Big deal. You know what I mean?
Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way.
Yep, your fruit, that your own vices, your own knowledge, wisdom, and wickedness, everything you planted, that's gonna lead to your destruction.
And be filled with their own devices.
I can't get with this, with what y'all talking about. Yeah, but you haven't found what you're looking for, because you got the people in the world, they can't get with that. But yeah, you run into drugs. If you was fully like, you believed in yourself, and I'm just thinking how they think. If you really had a hold on anything, you wouldn't have to run to those devices. You will have the scriptures to run to. You have the Most High to run to. You won't have to use your them gateway drugs and shit.
For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
Yep, so you're going to be fooled by this whole system, all right?
But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
We're going to be, you got it.
Real quickly, brother, I think about 70 AD. You know, I was watching some there's a channel on YouTube called Invicta that goes on to all these different ancient battles. But during the siege of 70 AD, many Israelites died. But the Israelites that believed on this thing already fled. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord was saying, when that enemy come in, flee into the wilderness. You know, and a lot of Israelites that didn't believe on the Lord, they got trapped up in Jerusalem and suffered a harsh fate, starvation. saying?
So them Centurions now, with them Gurkha troops and all of that, it's gonna happen again. Them UN troops. We telling you, the Lord gonna bring this destruction, and people not listening. They not out there. You see, like when you're not a part of this system, though, when you ain't part of the world no more, little shit like this, you start coughing, you smell weed and shit. You know what I mean? It's like 'cause your body is sensitive to this shit. That's you know what I mean?
And it's just dirt. It's just
You know what I mean?
like
The shit
dirt.
stick to you when your clothes get wet or whatever. But it's another thing. But yeah, so these people not gonna have nothing to protect them, man, in that time.
This is Isaiah 10 and 20. It shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob
How they gonna escape? Because the wings, the chariots, the Lord. All right.
shall no more stay, shall no more, Salakia, shall
Read it.
no, yeah, let me read it again. This, the page,
It's like a remnant, right?
Kind of, this is Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
That's right. So the elect is going to start with the elect. They're going to be back with the Lord, all right? And Jacob, who is Jacob? The so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans. Jacob's a planter. Name later was changed to Israel, Yasha'Allah. He's a prince of the power, all right? So we're not Spanish. We're not West Indian, all right? Those are bywords. We are Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, not black Israelites. Hebrew Israelites, man.
Like for example, like what Shimon said about 70 AD, like that, the Lord had a way to remnant, the believers to escape that persecution, but that persecution mainly came upon the wicked.
Yeah.
And we that remnant of Israel now, who we're not following after the ones who smote us, who Esau. Right? We're not standing upon this society pretty much, like the rest of Jacob. We're the remnant that's returning to the Lord, so we can receive salvation and not receive judgment like the rest of these two things.
Yep. See, because now look at that, because they're gonna move in worse than how the Flavian dynasty moved in on us. All right, that's Titus Domitian and Vespasian. All right, and yo, the whole that the father, sons, and the sons. You know, Titus was the warrior, Vespasian was a warrior, Domitian, he was like the so-called brains or whatever, political part, but that nigga did a lot of shit. He stole treasure. He stole shit that they stole from us in the siege. And then he created a famine there too. But, yo, that nigga, Domitian, a lot of the gladiators was trying to take his head off, man. You got it, though. I don't want to keep blabbering.
Okay, all right. So this is verse 21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God.
Even the remnant. See, that's the elect. A remnant. The Lord is not dealing with a quantity, he's dealing with quality. All right? The Lord deals in scarce, not scarce. It's the Lord deal with quality. All right?
Verse 22. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return.
A remnant compared to the sand of the sea. Now you look, you cannot measure the sand of the sea. It's overly abundant. You cannot measure the sand of the sea.
So it says,
And that's how Israel is. The world is larger than what you know. The number of people is large. That's why the Lord don't want no one counting. Esau wants to do that. It's lands that haven't been
Seen yet.
touched.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a word. regardless of what Esau's saying. You know what I mean? Regardless of what they're saying, man. There's stuff there's lands that they know about and they don't put on a map to where they sell, to where you got money. That's why you be having that weirdo shit happening with underage and trafficking. Because there's shit on a map that's not on a map. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's like it. But those like people of Israel be as the sand in the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness.
That's right. And the Lord gonna set the right world order when He returns, man. Things are gonna be set right. You know what I mean? The Lord taking all of these nations' crowns when He returns violently. It's in the we ask for the destruction of these kingdoms when we pray. Thy kingdom come. In order for the Lord's kingdom to come, other kingdom gotta get laid down. You know, the Lord ain't gonna have them surrender. He's gonna have them fight so He can slaughter their asses. You know? And yes, and for those that don't believe that's gonna happen, just watch. Sit back and watch. Hopefully you be spared so you could be destroyed when the Lord returns.
There's no prophecy that's failed. Every prophecy that you read about that already took place, they all came to pass. So the destruction of America, World War III, the chip is no different. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west.
The elect. We're in the Western Hemisphere right now on Babylon the Great. All right?
And His glory.
They gonna be moving when the nukes come, try to put out the fire. You got it. And that's not no shot at any brothers that's in that work those fields. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west. We are in the Western Hemisphere right now.
And His glory from the rising of the sun.
There's glory, Yahweh Shai, glory from the rising of the sun, because the Lord is going to come through on those chariots from the Eastern Hemisphere and come over here to the west. Right?
When the enemy shall come in like a flood.
The enemy, that's them troopers, man. That's them Gurkhas are from Nepal, right? They from Nepal, them Gurkha troops from all over. But yeah, you know, when
hired mercenaries.
The militant mercenary motherfuckers. Go ahead, the Raz Al Ghuls.
Right. The Spirit of the Lord, League of Shadows. The Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard.
Against them. The Spirit of the Lord, that's spiritual power. Divine intervention. All right?
Spiritual power. Anything.
Brothers, and then brothers that have it is going to protect the brothers that don't have it.
Right.
You know?
It's so crazy that we tell people that some brothers are going to be flying and healing people. They get a hard time believing that, but just look at the world around you. Look at some of the things that animals can do. Animals can regenerate. You have animals living 500 years. These aren't science fiction stuff. The Most High created creatures that could do certain things that are like spiritual power. You got that lizard that can run on water. So it's none for the Most High to just give us, turn up our faith, and to have us manipulate the elements.
Yeah. I was going to say real quick, just look at the Olympics. When you have, Jake running, breaking records, right? Or when you have him doing, trying to like the long jump. You run until you jump a certain distance, or just even like when it comes to sports, those are low levels of spiritual powers.
You got guys taking off from the free throw line. I mean, certain brothers are split about this guy LeBron James, but I remember when he was younger, I saw this nigga take off while a grown ass man was holding him. Like a grown ass man in the NBA is on your back and you're still levitating up. I was like, wow.
You know? You got that other dude, that basketball player, because he kept using drugs, so he didn't make it to the league. They call him the GOAT. Man, he was
Talking
doing
about
shit
cooks.
that Jordan was doing. He practiced. He built his body up by his calves and all of that. Look it up. It's called a goat. The dude, the actor that played him was what's that dude? What's his name?
The point is, there's a million Michael Jordans, bro.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Jakes that could do what he could do. It's just the opportunity, and you know what I'm saying. Like for example, you could have a Mike Tyson out here. He's bagging groceries somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's all types of Jakes. It's just the most
Turn that up.
Yeah.
I got some. This is Micah chapter 5, verse 7. And the remnant of Jacob.
We witnessing part of that spiritual power right now with brothers understanding the word.
Micah 5 and 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as a dew from the Lord.
As a dew from the Lord, right?
As the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles.
Oh, like a dew. Yeah, the Lord gonna give us that power to crush them, man. We're gonna be on them. We're gonna have our feet on their neck, man. We're gonna crush them. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, look, they're gonna be like ants to us, man. All right?
And the remnant of Jacob shall be shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people as a lion among the beasts of the forest.
Wait for me to rise up to the prey. So we waiting upon the Lord for the Lord to give us a signal to fall upon these nations, man. To dive on these nations. It's not of our will to move first, man. The Lord is the grandmaster of this game. All right.
It says, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep.
A young lion has the strength and is damn near fierce and fearless. All right.
It says, who if he go through both treadeth down and teareth in pieces.
Tear for pieces. That's how the Lord's people are gonna be, right?
And none can deliver.
None gonna deliver these nations, man. All right, it's gonna be the Lord's vengeance. It's gonna be Yahweh Shem Yahushai's vengeance. Okay, and the Lord, and that's why we're not comfortable here. We know who our enemies are. All right. We might watch an old movie or see current events and see how they act. And we just like, all right, we don't act on our anger, but we keep it, we suppress it, we keep it there for when the time is right, you know? Okay.
St. John 14 and 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father.
Yep, it started with the apostles, all right, but soon it's going to be for the elect in the kingdom. In the kingdom, we're going to have that spiritual power, but what we seen the Lord do, we're going to do greater. All right?
It says, and whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it.
So the Lord gonna grant it. It's nothing we not gonna have in the kingdom. All right? And the most and one of the best things is we're gonna be joined to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and then that knowledge that we're gonna have. Forget anything else. That knowledge we're gonna be, and then we're gonna be programmed never to go off again. But that wisdom we're gonna have.
Yeah, man, not being able to go off is gonna be a blessing, and then also the ability to explore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you've done it before, but you got these YouTube videos going into space and all these such. You just wonder, like, yo, you know, the Lord made it for a reason, right? So it's gonna be kingdoms. Just gonna be awesome, bro.
We got access to all the realms. We can be able to what Esau want to do. We could be able to travel from here to the spiritual realm, the different galaxies and multiverses, whatever. It's for us.
He calls it a wormhole, which is, this is point A over here, this is point B, but instead of traveling it, you could
fold it.
Yep. And they have that in the scriptures, right? Because you had Habakkuk and Daniel, right? Daniel was teleported. How do we know that he was teleported? Because the den was sealed off. All right, Daniel's den was sealed off, but an angel snatched Habakkuk and got him in there. All right, from Jerusalem to Babylon, traveling on a horseback would take a very long time. So there's things like that out there, but the Most High in time is going to open our understanding to all that type of stuff to us. What seems like sci-fi really is nothing to the Lord.
See?
This is John chapter 14. I'm going to start at 1. It says, "Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in the Most High, believe also in me."
Yeah, our mind is not troubled. We have the answers. We found what we seek for. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay? We have everything. You got people searching, they go their whole life searching. I gotta step down. You got people trying to search their whole life to find a meaning of what life is about. But we got it. And that's a blessing.
All right. It says, "In my Father's house are many mansions."
Father's house. That means all these galaxies, multiverses or whatever, the Lord is expanding the universe out. All right? In Father's house, many mansions, meaning all these galaxies and planets. It's infinite. Because the Most High built, the way he built things is infinite. The Most High's wisdom is infinite. All right? So creation is infinite. Go ahead.
It says, "If it were not so, I would have told you."
So if that wasn't the case, the Lord would have told us that shit is finite. And all that. He would have told us. All right? But he let us know that there's a lot out there that flesh and blood can't inherit the kingdom. This is the gifts of the kingdom. But I gotta step down, you know? All right.
It says, "I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you."
The Lord, when the Lord left, he went to prepare it. So the Lord is constantly constructing and building. Esau can't measure things out. When he see one little blip, trillions of other things have already been put out there. Yo, the Lord sent them on a dummy mission. You got sent on a dummy mission. He's just chasing this hotel.
All right, last verse. All right. And it says, "And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself,
So the Lord is returning.
that where I am, there ye may be also."
We're going to meet the Lord in the air, Lord willing, all right? Be changed in the twinkling of an eye. All right, but step down. Oh, y'all tired of hearing me. You got to go.
So long. You know, we'll continue in the spirit. Whatever you got. Oh, all right, cool. So, give me Revelation 16. Yeah, we'll talk about gather them into that place. Because you know, right now you got reports of the U.S. Military, the different commanders telling their soldiers that basically Trump was anointed by Jesus to attack Iran to bring forth Armageddon and the second coming of who they call Jesus Christ. You know, so you know that this is the will of the Lord. It shows you that these elites, these people up in power, they know that the prophecies of the scriptures is true. And also, what? I'm trying, I think it's 16 and.
Okay, right here?
Yeah.
16, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Revelation chapter 16, verse 16. "And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon."
Yeah, Armageddon, you know, which is Armageddon, the mountain of truths, which is over there in that region, the Middle East, you know, that whole region, you know, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Jordan, you know, Israel,
Lebanon, all that region. That's the region that the Lord is going to have World War III take place. Where you're going to have all the troops being sent in that region. Because right now, the Strait of Hormuz is shut down, and you don't have oil being moved, flowing like it was before. So what's that doing is it's affecting the economies all over the world, and eventually the nation they're going to have to send troops there, basically to fix the situation, because they need that oil to keep flowing. So right now you're seeing different nations taking sides. Again on the side of Russia, Iran, and China, and others on the side of America. But a lot of America's allies is getting away from her. Because America's been mistreating them. Lying to them, cheating, right? Like Saudi Arabia and Arab countries, they feel neglected by America because America focused their defense systems on Israel. And the whole point of them Arabs having a contract with America was America was supposed to protect them. And in turn, they would basically have the dollar be the currency, that they use to buy oil. So these nations, they're feeling betrayed. Even South Korea, they took those air defense systems from South Korea to bring them to Israel, to protect Israel. Because right now, Esau is low on ammunition. So they're scrambling right now for equipment, all over the world, right? So these nations, they're feeling betrayed because they don't got that protection anymore.
Verse 17, and the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done."
That's it. Yeah, that's it, man. The judgment of Babylon, which is going to come in the form of nuclear destruction. So, start at 9. Matter of fact, we can start at 1 and then
1, right? Yeah. This is Joel 3, verse 1. It says, For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring against the captivity of Judah and Israel, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Yeah, the valley of Jehoshaphat, valley of Yehoshaphat, right, which is that region, the Middle East, West Asia, Iran, all them Arab countries in that Middle East region. The Mossad is going to gather all the armies over there. You're going to have a military draft. You got Trump already talking about putting boots on the ground. Eventually he's going to have the announcement for a draft because Iran, that region is going to be a meat grinder. Bodies is going and they're not coming back.
It's already a meat grinder.
It's already a meat grinder because they're lying about the numbers. They're saying that it's only 6 soldiers that died, but if you look at it's over 1,000. If you look at all them videos of Iran's missiles and the satellite images of what they destroyed, it can't be no 6 soldiers. Even when they were saying it was 3 that was dead, there was 3 soldiers dead. They had videos of a plane bringing their caskets, and I counted seven caskets. I'm like, how they saying it's 3 when there's 7 caskets already? So, hey man, the Iranians, they're not playing with Esau, man. Esau's getting his ass in it too, man.
Yeah, cause I can bring this out real quick. How basically Iran is using asymmetric warfare. That's going to show you that it's going to be this war between U.S. and Iran is going to be dragged out. It says this is what the things that Iran is doing. So it says key asymmetric strategies. So it says drone and missile saturation. Iran employs high volumes of low-cost, indigenously produced drones and ballistic missiles to overwhelm advanced air defense systems. It says a drone costing approximately $30,000 can force an adversary to expend interceptor missiles costing hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. You know, so that, you know, that's going to drain the economy of America.
Yeah.
So it says, reports indicate Iran has targeted critical commercial infrastructure such as Amazon Web Services, data centers in the UAE to disrupt regional economies and intelligence supporting networks. So, you know, it just goes into like the tactics Iran is using. It says cyber and information warfare. Iran uses cyber attacks to target financial institutions, oil infrastructure, and government entities. These operations yield disproportionate effects at a fraction of the cost of conventional strikes. You know, so basically Iran is using, you know, because Iran is a weaker country to America, so it's using all these different tactics to basically have America spend more dollars. So now instead of America, you know, pumping money into other things, they're gonna be pumping money into the military. You know, so they basically gonna be draining America while you see what's going on with the Strait of Hamas. That's how you pronounce it? Hormuz. You know, like you mentioned earlier, how because you know what goes through there is like 20 to 25% of the global's oil exports. So when they slow that down, it basically affects the whole global economy. So, you know, ultimately too, this could lead into the mark of the beast, to that microchip. You know, so all these things is happening at the same time. You know?
Yep, that's right. So like the brother said, Iran, they're using the different tactics to drain America. You know, and you know, right now America has defeated all its interceptor missiles. You know, so that's why Iran now, they don't even have to send as many missiles and drones, because all of them, they know they're gonna hit. And if you see Israel, they're banning people from taking videos of like the destruction. As they said, it looks like Gaza right now, if you look at all the videos, you know? So, hey man, Esau's getting his ass handed to him, so eventually they're gonna have that boots on the ground.
Did you hear about Trump asking not Vladimir, Zelensky for help how to stop those missiles?
Yeah,
because
stop
Zelensky he has history with Russia, and those missiles that Iran is shooting, where they getting it from? America didn't even know they had that technology, but Russia is being that guard onto them, feeding them. You got it, bro.
That's right, yeah. And the Iranians, they got the Russians, the Chinese helping them. Russia just said that they're gonna do everything in their power to make it an impossible environment for America and Israel to basically attack Iran. You know, so you know what that means. They're gonna get fully involved. You know, and they're already involved, providing them with, you know, intelligence on where American, you know, soldiers are and different things. That's how Iran is precise with them drone strikes. Like you have American soldiers in a hotel in Dubai, and Iran will precisely hit wherever they're at. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's because Russia's being that guard up to them. You know.
Continuing in Joel 3:2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
That's right, and we'll plead with them there. You know, which means what? Judgment. You know, Judgment Day is going to take place starting in the Middle East. Even Donald Trump, that devil, he said what to Rogan? Was it Joe Rogan? What's his name? Joe Rogan? Yeah, Joe Rogan. He said there are prophets that believe that the end of the world is going to be in the Middle East. It's going to start in the Middle East, and that Armageddon World War III is going to start in the Middle East. But you know, with me, that's going to stop or something like that. You know what I mean? So Trump, he definitely watches us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because before he mentioned prophets of doom, you know, the prophets of doom, you know. So we're in these devils' heads, man. You know, because they're seeing that everything that we're saying is coming to fruition. For them to tell their military that Trump is anointed to bring forth Armageddon, World War III, and the second coming of Jesus, that tells you everything, man. These devils, they know the scriptures is true. You know?
Continuing in verse 3, and they have cast and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
Yeah, that's happening to this day. You know, it's happening in slavery, and it's happening to this day with fucking for trafficking. You know, human trafficking, child trafficking, to this day with Israelites, man. Majority of people that go missing, it be Israelites, man. You know, you got like 800,000 to 1 million people going missing every year. You know, majority of those be Jakes, man. Right? Have you seen such and such? It always be Jakes, right? Because Esau, they love the Israelite blood. You know, they need that endrochrome. You know, when they do them sacrifices, Israelites can have the purest blood. You know, we have the chosen blood. So, you know, they always use Jake for all these vile things.
I was going to say, there was an old clip that started resurfacing. I forgot the Edomite's name. He was at a dinner table with like another one of his partners and a bunch of Jake women who are so-called black. And he was basically telling them like, yo, I'll give you $50 for like your egg, or to like have his baby, so he can like have the babies. And he was like, I'll give you $100. Then he started going into details about how valuable the eggs are and what can happen if they have a baby with the blood. And he's straight up telling them like, yo, like, I will like pay you for this shit. And the nigga woman is just sitting there like, and then some of them were sitting there like, oh shit, like what the fuck is going on here? You know, and then a lot of people didn't even realize the whole movie, when it comes to Peter Pan, Captain Hook is actually the one trying to save the kids, man. Peter Pan is the one that's going around to their fucking bedrooms, kidnapping them, telling them, don't tell your parents, let's come to fucking Neverland. And Captain Hook is trying to like Captain Hook is the actual hero.
Yeah, I never looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, man, these devils, man. You see the Epstein files, you know, everything that's coming out about them, how they eat people, they eat children. You know what I'm saying? Like doing all this sick, twisted shit, man.
They've been heavily interrogating Bill Clinton and Hillary about Pizzagate and everything that's been going on, man. You see Bill picking up the coffee mug hand, weaking out like, what? I ain't never did that. You got Hillary saying, oh, that Pizzagate is nonsense. That ain't never happened. So they coming down on them, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And that shows you all of this is you hold up Isaiah 47 as well.
I already got it, bro.
That shows you that the Lord is about to bring judgment on Esau, man. That's why all this exposure is happening, you know? Because there's no judgment, man. These people just do all this sick shit and they just get away with it. And you got FBI deleting files, you know, paying Bondi, talking about, oh, if they release the names, then basically the whole system will collapse. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's deeply involved, right? All these politicians, these celebrities, you know, these bankers, every one of them, man. You know? Because this world is under the control of Satan. And Satan, in order for him to give you blessings, he requires certain sacrifices. You know? Matter of fact, go down to verse 9.
Joel 3 and 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up.
Yeah, and that's happening right now. All the men of war drawing near to the Middle East region. You know, you got China starting to send military there, you know, to provide support to Iran. Russia definitely got troops over there helping provide support to Iran. You know, you got those Arabs, they said, you know, they're ready to go to war with Iran because Iran is destroying their economies, you know, with those attacks. You know, people want to leave the country. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, these nations, these Arab countries, they depend on that image, that safety image. You know what I'm saying? Nothing can happen here. It's Dubai, the safest place in the world or whatever. Now you got drone strikes happening all over Dubai. Now that image is tarnished. You know what I'm saying? That shit is not coming back, right? So, you know, these nations, they're gonna start sending more military there
fix the situation. You go ahead.
Verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Yeah, let the weak say I am strong. Because at one point, these nations, they used to be weak. Like Iran, it was considered weak. That's why, America was emboldened to attack them. Because they thought, look what we just did to Venezuela. We just going to stomp on Iran. You should see people's comments. It's going to take 3-4 days tops. You're going to turn Iran into a parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just mocking Iran. And now you're seeing that Iran is giving them a run for their money, man. Destroyed all the U.S. bases in the Middle East, the ports, so they can't really land and they can't dock and they can't basically reload their weapons. They got to go all the way to India, Diego Garcia, to reload their shit.
Real quick, what they don't realize is they've been bullying Iran and threatening Iran for how many years? And Iran is like, okay, let's just get prepared. Like, it's only a matter of time. America's cocky, they whatever. But all right, we just gonna be prepared. Cause when that time comes, like we gonna be ready. Cause I forgot who it was that was giving an interview, and he was saying like, no, we don't want no ceasefire with them. Because the last time we did that, what did they do? They bombed us. So they was like, no ceasefire. Let's keep it moving. Like, because they ready.
They said, yo. Because Trump talking about boots on the ground, they asked him, yo, you not ready? You not scared of whatever American boots on the ground, coming to make war against you and all that? They said, no, we're not scared. We're waiting for them. You know what I'm saying? Then was shocked. He's like, what you mean? You waiting for them? He's like, yeah, we waiting for them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What
Like,
They said we outside.
Yeah, like we've been waiting for 20 years. Like,
It's cut.
You know
It's
what I'm
clipped.
saying?
They done.
Yeah. Like,
They
nigga,
done.
like, oh shit, like, they wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? They expected Iran to just bow down. You know what I mean? That's why Trump, what is it? Witkoff, he said that Trump, no, Trump, he said Trump basically is frustrated. He said, I don't want to use the word frustrated, but, he's curious why Iran is not basically bowing down, you know what I'm saying, when he had all that military firepower over there. Because what, Iran is confident, them niggas, they're ready. They said Iran only had 2,000 ballistic missiles or whatever, right? And now we're saying Iran, they already sent over 2,000 ballistic missiles, and they still going, you know what I'm saying? Iran is producing 300 missiles a month and 500 drones per day. What do you do with that?
They created those drones. They created the drones.
Yeah, the drones.
And it's cheap as hell.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, $20,000. You know what I'm saying? 500 of them a day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and meanwhile, the missile defense systems. Well, you got the Iron Dome, and you got the Patriot. Them things is like millions of dollars.
David Sling.
David Sling. Each missile, it costs millions of dollars, and they take a couple missiles just for one, to intercept one missile from Iran. So you spending millions while Iran is spending a few thousands. You know what I'm
50,000
saying?
here,
50,000 here, 40,000, 100,000 a missile. And Iran is using the old stockpile. They're using the old shit.
They ain't fucking with that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Having you spend all your stockpiles, you know what I'm saying, of your ammunition, and now they hitting you with the hard shit, the new generation missile. Shit that break apart, look, with 80 different targets.
That's what Hellfire mean. Hellfire, the Hellfire missiles.
They have that. Pardon me.
Real quick, the Iranians did. They had artificial, like 3 planes. And they bombed, and it was nothing. It was artificial. They bombed. It was paintings. Yeah, boom, boom, boom.
So that was real then.
$3 million of missiles wiped out. $3 million wiped out right there.
So you're telling me all that technology that Esau had, he couldn't look on the ground and tell her that it's fake?
Because they got no. Because they being supplied with the same technology that Esau has by Russia and China.
Yeah.
So they getting technology, they getting all that shit. So it's not like they back in the ancient world, like that they in the stone. It's not. They got what they Iran is doing what they do. Because they getting.
Nah, reports said that they shot a missile into the out of the atmosphere, and when Israel was prepared to intercept it, it broke apart.
Yeah.
And it was like 8 different warheads.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
they
boom,
said,
boom, boom. It was
yeah.
dummy warheads and regular warheads. I seen that video.
Yeah, they said the IRGC dude, the chief, the general, he was talking about it. He said, yo, that missile, he said it could hit 80 different targets. So he said, yo, if they bring out 100 of those, they could hit over, I think, 80,000 targets or something like that. Like they could wipe out over 20,000 soldiers in, you know what I mean, one swipe. That's what he said.
Real quick, you had the Iranian chief, military chief saying that we've been planning for this war since 2003 when they invaded Iraq, and they call this the axis of evil. Iran, North Korea, and Iraq, the axis of evil. They was planning for this war for 20 years, over 20 years, since 2003, 23 years. They've been planning for this war. So when it finally happened, they know how to handle it. And then how you going to defeat a country? You've been around for 250 years. This country been around for over 2,500 years. You think you're going to defeat a great civilization that had a great military? They probably went back to the ancient tactics. Going back to the ancient Persians, they got the records, how the ancient Persians did, how they did, and how they fought their battles. They probably went back and studied that shit, and you never know.
Yeah, and it's the same spirit coming back. The spirit
Exactly,
of
right
the
or wrong.
Persians coming back.
They could have went back into the archives and studied how the ancient Persians handled their battles. There was a prominent military.
Yeah, the Lord put that spirit on them a little bit back in the days when it was in rulership.
Yeah, and you see how even though they lost their supreme leader, they still in order. The army, each one of them, those generals or whatever, the commanders, they operate individually. So they have the authority to shoot missiles at will and drones or whatever. So you can't really break apart the so-called regime.
One more thing. Everybody that got killed got replaced by new people in the Ayatollah. Just like, and you know what? Proving that Great Musa got 100% truth because the elder brother Shimon said that they're going to put his brother in charge. They may put his brother or his son in charge. And guess who's in charge? His son.
And his son is vicious too.
And his son,
there's a new version.
And his son, his father didn't want nuclear weapons, but now this son talking about, we have to hold people off us. We gotta build this.
Yeah. There was a video of the Ayatollah years ago. He was talking about how the missiles they got missiles range of like 2,000 kilometers or whatever. And he said that the scientists, the engineers, they wanted to go up to 5,000 kilometers. He said, nah. He basically like put a limit on that. So now that he died, they're gonna basically up it.
Because his son is
that
in
means
charge.
they could strike Europe. They could strike those European countries.
Yeah, because the longer the ranges the missile is, the more dirt he is.
Exactly.
So that could bring heat onto them. So you don't want no smoke.
Exactly.
his
And
son.
Europe talking about joining the war.
Yeah.
Did you see how that hypersonic missile, when they shot it off, it was like,
Glide.
it was gliding, and it was like, our interceptor trying to hit it, and it was going, it was going around the interceptor, and the interceptor was following it, but they couldn't catch it.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the weapons of the Lord, man. You know what I mean? And unstoppable destruction. Right? That's the military that the Heavenly Father. That's the technology that the Lord gave to Edom, right? Starting with Edom, and now the other nations got their hands on it and they perfected it. Because America has a lag on hypersonic missile technology, right? The ones leading the charges, Russia, China, and Iran. And I believe North Korea too is coming up, right? So all of America's enemies got their hands on that weapon. Unstoppable, you know? Got that?
This is Jeremiah 50 verse 9. It says, for lo, I will raise up and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country.
Yeah, an assembly of great nations from the north country, you know, which is Russia and its allies. Russia, like we read in Ezekiel the 30th chapter, Russia, Iran, Turkey, you know,
and a bunch of other countries that are having more hatred for America for what it's doing on the world stage, you know, because that's affecting them too. You know what I'm saying? Trump is just out there just doing shit, right? Like you got the dude from one of the ministers from UAE, you know, he put out a letter to Trump, like, who gave you the right? You know what I'm saying? To just come over here and to stop this war and basically stir up our region, right? They're furious at Trump, man. You know, and this war is gonna destroy the economies of these other countries, so they're gonna come against Babylon.
It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man.
Yeah, those are them hypersonic missiles, man. Mighty expert men, right? Those engineers, those scientists that come up with that technology, they're experts, you know? And America don't got those experts, but Iran does, right? And like Buzz was mentioning, you see those videos of those missiles, they're dodging the interceptors, right? You know what I'm saying? You see those 2-3 interceptors, 12 interceptors going at the missile, and it picks up speed. You know what I'm saying? Start dodging shit, and then hits the targets, man. Right?
It says,
matter of fact, let me finish
it says, none shall return in vain.
Yeah, none shall return in vain, because once they're shot, they don't go back. You know, that's it, man. Got something?
So earlier you were talking about the fact that the Ayatollah Khomeini's son is more in line with getting nuclear weapons and tapping into that more than his father was. And I was looking to that because his father was something called a lot more with something called the fatwa.
Yeah, the fatwa.
And then the son aligns more with the the Iranian Revolution. I'm gonna read it, but before I read it, a precept comes to my mind with that. This is the book of Sirach 30:3. He that teaches his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friend he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet is he as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
Just like his pops too, when his pops was young.
Yeah. So they took him down, and boom, he's right back up.
Yeah.
Now, to back up your point real quick, Mojtaba Khomeini, which is the son of the previous Ayatollah Khomeini, right, is perceived as more open, or at least more willing to accelerate pursuits of nuclear weapons and aggressive use of ballistic missiles compared to his father, Ayatollah Ali Khomeini, primarily due to his stronger personal and institutional ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. The ongoing war with the U.S. and Israel, and a more hardline, vengeful ideological stance shaped by current existential threats to the regime. Ali Khamenei maintained a public religious edict, the fatwa, against nuclear weapons, framing Iran's program as peaceful and civilian-oriented. So that's how come when Iran will retaliate, they'll always put out a message, hey, no civilians were harmed in this matter, when the previous Ayatollah was there. But this guy's not really, it don't seem like he's on that same type of timing.
He's a hardliner.
Right. It says, framing Iran's program as peaceful and civilian-orientated, while allowing advancement to near weapons grade enrichment as leverage. He criticized leaders like Gaddafi for disarming and use caution in direct escalation, balancing ideology with regime survival through proxies, asymmetric warfare, and limited missile strikes. So that was the POTS, right?
Yeah.
Proxy wars, right? You had the Houthis in Yemen. You had the Hezbollah. Hezbollah was in Lebanon, and then you have Hamas in Palestine. Okay, and then you use Syria as a route to feed them weapons. So that's how they were going about things. In contrast, analysts describe Mojtaba as potentially pursuing more extreme strategic options under IRGC influences. Says he has a deep, long-standing connections to the IRGC, including funding missiles, drone projects, and operations. which controls Iran's ballistic missiles, arsenals, and views nuclear capabilities as essential deterrents. Says the current wartime context following his father's assassination in U.S.-Israeli strikes, ongoing degradation of Iranian capabilities, and intense pressure creates incentives for defiant consolidation, heavier reliance on missiles, accelerated clandestine nuclear work, and possibly breaking thresholds to forestall further attacks. Reports portray him as more ideological, violent, and less inclined to compromise with the U.S. than his father, driven by personal revenge. Example, avenging his father's death and existential fears, citing examples like Libya and Ukraine, where disarming led to downfall.
Yeah, they killed his father, I think his sister, his brother-in-law, and I think his niece was in the house too. They killed the whole. Yeah, so this dude, he's on a revenge tour, right? That's why the missiles they're hitting harder and harder, right? The attacks are getting stronger and stronger. They're hitting them with new technologies, unveiling new weaponry.
Like I say, going back to 2002, when show you that the proof that the defense minister was saying that they was preparing for war with. I remember they were preparing for this war since 2002, 2003. It says in January 29, 2022, 2002 State of the Union address, President George Walker Bush coined the term axis of evil to describe Iraq, Iran, and North Korea, accusing them of seeking weapons of mass destruction and supporting terrorism. The phrase coined by speechwriter David Fromm aimed to justify the war on terror following 9/11 and signaled a shift towards potential preemptive action against these nations. And ever since this right here, State of the Union address in 2002, Iran, according to that the defense minister said that they was preparing. And then they was like, what about the ground troops? He said, we were prepared for them. Yeah. If any ground troops coming, we were prepared for them.
They try to get the Kurds to invade.
Yeah.
And they
Kurds
came out, he said, yeah, we already crushed them.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, we already crushed them.
Yeah, but you got to understand something. They training more. So it's always you give people a few million or a couple, here it is 5 million. You'll split amongst each other. Come on, people will sell their soul for fucking money, man.
Yeah.
And and then they're getting the latest technology and weaponry. You could do this.
Get them some drones and shit.
Give them some technology, amp them up.
Yeah, because you got a lot of the population that lost their family members in those strikes. People they love, people they know. So they're going to be inclined to want revenge on America. They're going to want to join the military. So it's going to be nothing for you going to call up 1 million people.
They blew up a school of little girls in Iran.
85 little girls.
No, 170.
Yeah,
170. Damn, I didn't know. So the body kept clown. Damn.
And the teachers.
Yeah.
So
it was an all-girls school.
Yeah, all girls. Yep. Girls dead, little girls dead, teachers dead.
So did you hear it on CNN?
I wasn't seeing none. I heard.
Did you hear it on Fox News?
No.
Did you hear it on MSNBC?
Never heard that.
We heard that shit on alternative media.
Alternative media, yep.
They said, yeah, we're going to take a look. We're going to investigate. Right? That's the devil for you, right?
You got a lot of these guys trying to get a coming up with different news and breaking news and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
I thought Steve Ram, you ever heard of Steve Ram, bro?
Yeah.
I thought Steve Ram was, legit, but this dude was like, he's putting a lot of propaganda, a lot of bullshit that's not true. Cause when you go to Conor McGregor and you go to these different news sort of news outlets, they show you and they tell you what's really happening. But this dude is pushing a narrative that Iran is losing, and I'm like, damn, I thought Steve Ram was giving out good money.
Look at his supporters. He getting that money. You know what I'm saying? The super chats. You know what I'm saying? The people that support him.
But at first he was giving out good information. Now I'm saying, man, he just turned to a goddamn fucking seller.
People want to hear smooth things. You know what I mean? They want to hear that America's losing. They don't want to hear that over 1,000 American soldiers already dead. They don't want to hear that this war is going to collapse the American economy and that they're going to have to pay more for everything. Right? People don't want to hear that. They want to hear that smooth thing. You know what I mean? America's winning. We're crushing Iran. We're destroying them. We obliterated their navy. And we did this. We did that. Meanwhile, he's taking hits, man. America already lost billions of dollars in equipment from Iran destroying them all throughout the bases in the Middle East.
And they say that Iran's totally destroyed Iran's navy. That's bullshit. You go to Scott Ritter and a bunch of other guys like Max Blumenthal and Matt Holt, and you know they breaking it down. That shit is bullshit.
Games.
Huh?
Martin Games, he be on it heavy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Breaking it down, but showing you how the media, you can't trust the media, because when you go back to Operation Mockingbird during the 50s, the CIA saying that they admit that they can lie because they passed the code that they can lie to the people, give them false information. It's called Operation Mockingbird.
So soon they're gonna have that draft, man. You see them soldiers panicking on TikTok, posting TikToks.
You seen that
talking
girl?
about they joined for the benefits, and now they see how serious it is. They're about to go to war with Iran. You know what I'm saying? Like hey man, the American military, majority of people in there, they're not in it for the cause of protecting this country. They're in it for a check.
Do you see the niggas that was dancing? Oh, we killed the Ayatollah, fuck the Ayatollah, dancing? It was nigga, women, and niggas. Like about 3-4 hours later, guess what? They was the first casualties. You seen that shit on TikTok, right? Well, they was dancing and laughing like how they fucked the Ayatollah. We were dancing and mocking that they killed him, you know? They didn't kill him, but they airstrike. But guess what? They died by drone strikes, you know what I'm saying? About 3 hours later, they said a few hours later, they showed them. They dead. I think I put it on, I'm stored it on my TikTok account, you know what I mean? I was planning on doing a video on it.
Let me bring a quick one out. So Isaiah 13:10 says, "For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine."
That's going to be from the clouds, the radiation clouds.
Yeah, and I say this too. You know, that's it's twofold. That's going into their wisdom. You know, the thing is, America don't know what the hell to do. Trump tried to kill the Ayatollah. That was a bad move. Yeah. Anyone could say that was a bad move, just common sense. But the Lord is taking that wisdom from them, man. Yeah. Meaning what? That their time of rulership is out of here. They're done with it.
Yeah, they said the situation room. You know, they got a whole situation room, a briefing room where you got them generals, commanders, and all that, basically dictating the war. They said, yo, that should be a mess. You know what I'm saying? Trump be going for like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Because he be stressed out and shit. Because, you know, they warned him even before he attacked. They warned him with this, man. They told him like, yo, we don't have enough ammunition for this war. And now they're running low on stockpiles. Now they just had to have an emergency meeting with Lockheed Martin and them to try to get them to fast track,
increase the shit.
Increase the weapons, yeah. And they can't do that in time because they don't have the industrial capacity for that. You know what I'm saying? That China could do that. China could create thousands of missiles if they want in a month. You know what I mean? They have the industrial capability to do that. America don't. You know what I'm saying? Because America shipped it overseas back in the 70s.
Now, and supplying the weapons to Ukraine and supplying weapons to Israel, so they depleted. Mm-hmm. They stockpiled depleted.
Yeah, they depleted. You know, so that was a stupid move, man. And this is why he's talking about boots on the ground. You know what I mean? Because you know they don't got enough bombs. Because either he goes nuclear or put boots on the ground. So they're gonna put boots on the ground.
And that's what I think is what happened. They're gonna go nuclear because of the fact that they get their asses handed to them. Yeah. So they're gonna have to do something to try to level out the playing field.
After the chip,
after the chip, because what's gonna happen is the economy is teetering because of the fact that, you know, the stock market is crashing, You know, oil prices going up. The Dow Jones and the NASDAQ was low all week. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And the oil prices is skyrocketing, so that's going to bring more inflation, more debt. They got to put more money, push more money out there, and
Dollar collapse.
then that's when they're gonna come with that new system. It's all they know what they're doing. It's all a part of their goddamn game. They know what they're doing, man. So they bringing in this new system, they do out of this chaos of these wars. They're gonna bring in, problem, reaction, solution. Order out of chaos. They're gonna bring in a new order, a new system, and if you're not a part, you don't want to be a part of that system. You're an enemy. And that's how it's gonna go down.
Yep.
And after that, missiles gonna fly. Ain't no lie.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Yeah, sit in the dust, meaning confusion. America's confused. They don't know what to do. Like you seen them interviews of the senators that came out of the Congress briefing about the war in Iran. And they said, they all, hey man, they all confused. They said, we're just as confused as you. They said, the situation is worse than what they're telling us. Because they probably got word, that they're not telling the public. They probably got word that there's more troops that's dead. All the different equipment that they're losing, by the day. You know what I'm saying? Because Iran, they're not stopping them attacks, man.
Yeah.
Right? It's non-stop. Every day you see new videos of attacks on the bases, and right? Iran is fucking their shit up. So the Lord said there is no throne, no more American hegemony, man. You just go all over the earth and you're able to, dominate, impose your will on smaller nations. That shit is over with. Iran is not taking that bullying. Trump talking about he wants unconditional surrender. Iran gotta submit. Niggas like, what, nigga? Iran does not submit to nobody, nigga. They're gonna fight to the death.
They got a lot of cards, man.
Yeah, they got a lot of cards, man. They got the drones, and now they unveiled missiles. Iran got missiles that could bust out the ground, so they don't need a launch pad or none of that. They got them under the ground. You wouldn't even know. You think it's a desert, and that shit got hundreds of missiles under it. Spread out. That could just bust out the ground and just go to the target. So America's fried, man. Like brothers earlier at the camp over there was mentioning America sent special forces to Iran, and they got obliterated, like over 30 soldiers that got reported in news in other countries, man. You know what I'm saying? And they got obliterated. That's why that foreign minister, he was so confident. He said, we're waiting for them. They got different traps set up, man.
I was going to say, it's only a matter of time before all the family members of these American dead soldiers start going out on social media, letting it be known, like, they're trying to say the numbers are low, but it's like, why is it like, because they have to go back and tell their family, like, listen. So it's only a matter of time. Like, they're going to expose them, like, bodies is dropping.
They said, they got job postings for like these people that process like items for like dead soldiers. They got mad job openings for that, which shows you there's a lot of dead soldiers, so they need to process them things. So it's still the first week, so we still have to wait, for things to unveil. You know what I'm saying? As time goes on. So in a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? Week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're gonna see more and more things come out. More footage, that they don't want to come out. Right, because Iran claiming that they attacked the Abraham Lincoln, you know what I'm saying, and they ran off. They claim to have destroyed one of those destroyers, you know what I mean? So, it's a lot that's gonna come out over the weeks because it's still unfolding. So.
Yeah. It reads, "For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate."
Yeah, these nations have seen America for what she really is. You know what I'm saying? She's a whore, right? She's an oppressing whore, just acting like, she's just, the seat of morale, right? They get to dictate what's wrong and what's right. You know, like you see a nation, they will have a system already established, and you want to come and bring in democracy. Like, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? You don't agree with the way they do things, so you have to go over there and switch it up. But guess what? The Lord said, I have laid a snare for Babylon, and that snare is Iran. You know, Iran is not Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Iran is not Venezuela. Iran is not them countries you done dealt with in the past, man. You know, that's the ancient Persians. You know what I'm saying? So now you done mess with a whole hornet's nest. You know what I mean? Because all them motherfuckers, they want to be martyrs. You know what I mean? They're ready to die fighting you Edomites, man. But
It reads verse 2. Take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers.
America's being exposed, man. You know what I'm saying? America's about to go through some hard times.
I say send that too. Like America is like compared to a woman, you know, which it is throughout those scriptures, you know, virgin daughter Babylon. You know, America be compared to a woman, but here it is. In the ancient time, grinding mill be a woman's job. You know, that'd be something a woman would do. So in other words, America got to come off that high horse. You know, that I'm a queen. My feet can't touch the ground. Your ass gotta go to work now, you know, and that's messed up. But when you got the position on job, you like the head foreman, you don't do shit, and then you fuck up, you get demoted. Now you gotta work with the rest of the guys. That's America, man. You're gonna be put to shame.
America's about to be turned into a third world country. You know what I'm saying? You're about to see people scramble for scraps. You know what I mean? You already seen them. European and Asian countries, you already see is a long lines at gas stations. You know what I'm saying? And the gas is going up. Over there in Europe, gas done doubled up, right? So we're soon to see that happen in America, man. And you're gonna see people's true colors. People's gonna kill each other. That's all.
Yeah, just to back up Brother's point about the woman's job in the mill, that was like the lowest job in society in the ancient world. Prove it. Like the lowest, you're at the bottom when you grind a mill. It's the book of Exodus chapter 11 verse 5. And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill.
That's what
Exodus 11 and 5.
You know, the scriptures even say, like the curses for a woman, she was tender, that she would not set the sole of her foot on the ground. Her eye shall be evil towards her husband. Right? The tenderness of our woman, you know, they were, you know, in a princess-like state, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Especially during the time of David and Solomon. You know what I mean? So basically America going from that tender state where she's not touching the ground to where now she's going through hardships. You know what I'm saying? She's having to work. She's having to go through labor.
And just to back up the point that the Lord is going from lower to lower, after it mentions the maidservant that is behind the mill, then it says all the firstborns of the beast. So you went from the top, which is the son of Pharaoh, to the lowest amongst men, the maidservant behind the mill, was lower than men, the beast. So the Lord is doing this.
Yes. That's right. See, America don't got that same position in the world that it used to. And Trump, especially with Trump coming in office, Trump has tarnished America's image. These nations don't trust America anymore. These Arab countries, they just said that they're gonna stop all their investments in America, you know, just to basically get some funds to alleviate the damage of, you know, the destruction that Iran is doing to them. Because they're losing billions of dollars, man. They said Saudi Arabia, I think they're losing $1 million per minute or something like that. You know, because their airport is shut down and all that. So, and you know, they depend on tourism. So, yeah, man. Good.
Yep, verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame should be seen. I would take vengeance, and I would not meet thee as a man.
Yeah, that's right. So the nakedness is being uncovered. You know, these nations, they're seeing America for what it really is. In the middle of negotiations with Iran, you just blow them up.
He did that twice. You know what I'm saying? And the second time, Iran, they already, the foreign minister, they had agreed. They said, oh yeah, but no more enrichment and all that. So that was what everything America was asking for, right? Except the missile part, right? And they still blew them up. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, these nations, they're no longer trusting America, man. You know, they're seeing that it's all about regime change, control. You know what I'm saying? And the theft of resources, man. Still in Venezuela's oil kidnapping, Maduro, they're just wild. These nations, they don't trust America no more. Right?
Yep. Verse 4, as for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. It reads, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt not be called, it says, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms.
Yeah, no longer be called the Lady of Kingdoms, man. But they just see America as a brute beast. Right? These other nations, they mock America. Right? They're looking down on America. Like, how is it they're allowing this to happen in their countries? How is it, you got all this Epstein file coming out and they're not, going after the people responsible, right? These nations, they're seeing that, man, right? They're seeing how filthy this place is, man. All right.
It reads, verse 6, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, all the oppression that you put up on the Israelites, man. Jake can't retire. Can't even take a break from working until you die. Right? You used to have a retirement age, now you can't retire with this economy. And it's only getting worse and worse. Right? And Esau will make it harder for Israelites, man, to live in this system. This whole system, is built, to be against Israel, man. Right? And favor Esau and the other nations. So the Lord, he sees all of that, man. Just like the Lord saw the oppression that happened in ancient Egypt. The Lord wasn't blind to that. He told Moses, I've seen the oppression of my people. I heard their cries, I heard their groanings, all the complaints, all of that. The Lord heard that, man. The scripture say, I think in Romans, it says how the groanings that cannot be uttered, the Lord knows the minds of the spirit, because even when we don't know what to pray for, or something like that, the spirit, basically our spirit cries. Right, so the Lord, he hears all the cries of Israelites, man. Right, even the 2/3, even though the Lord is not going to save them at this time, but the Lord hears, his people, man. Right.
It reads, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it.
Yeah. So, like the brother was speaking on retirement, it says full retirement age for individuals born in 1960 or later, the FRA is 67. For those born between 1955 and 1959, the age is 66 in a few months. What the hell are you gonna do at 66?
Yeah.
I even remember a couple years back when I was in high school, I was in the World store. Me and one of my partners, we used to go to like Popeyes at school to like eat food. And there was this old lady working there. She had to be in her 60s. And we looking at her like, damn, like, how the fuck she's still working here? She look like she about to die. And that was like, what, damn near like almost, like 15 years ago, yo? And it's like, you retire at that age, and most likely the job you have, you ain't really collecting nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you ain't collecting nothing. You a lot of these elderlies, they can't survive off of the Social Security.
Yeah.
Even damn near half of them can't even move back home with their kids because their kids doing bad too.
Yeah. know, it's a whole system of debt and oppression, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, he ain't set up this world to be this way, man. He ain't, you know, created Israel to be oppressed in this manner. You know what I mean? To just be slaves, man. Right? So this is why the Lord is setting these nations up for World War III, because he's getting ready to redeem these people. Right.
Yep. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Yeah, one that is profitable. Because right now we have unprofitable ruler in power. You know, the so-called white man, starting with the elites, the bankers, all the way down to Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a lower peon, man. Right? He got handlers above him. Right? Netanyahu, you know, is you know, his master. You know, and then you got you know, the Rothschilds, you know, and the other banking families, you know, which you know, control all these different economies all around the world, and these different leaders. Right? Because the Rothschild, what did they say? Give me control over a nation's wealth, and I don't care who make the laws, who's on the throne. You know? So
Finish it up and close out.
yeah. Definitely check, because he definitely looked like he was. That's your car, right? Yeah. Definitely check. You know, like he just was shit. But you know, yeah, man. You know?
I got one more verse. Jump down to verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, that's right. How did the super white man get all this wealth, all this power? It's about cheating, man. Right? By murdering, by lying, by theft, you know, by raping, you know, by committing genocide, you know, on Israelites, man. This is how he was able to acquire this power, man. And now he got this power, he boasted himself as if, you know, like this, you know, like it's because of his IQ. You know what I'm saying? Like he worked for that. Our forefathers and, you know, all the maggots, right? You see the mindset they have is this is what their forefathers left them. You know, their forefathers died, you know, for this country, you know, because they fought in the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you had, you know, millions of Israelites, dozens of millions of Israelites died, you know, by the hands of your forefathers, right? So these Edomites, you know, they elected Trump, you know, for him to basically bring back America to its former state, make America great again. But what he's doing is he's crippling this place, man. Right? The Lord has anointed him to bring forth Armageddon. You done? That's it. Oh, so with that, we're gonna close out. And give all praises, glory, honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh.
Double honors to the apostles of GMS to give us his truth. And salutations to all the unconditional sport throughout the four corners of the earth.